All right, back out at the Smith Road Baseball Complex. Gary Griffith here with you, and Jimmy Coggins now with me. Jimmy, regional play continues.
Absolutely. Columbus State.
It's UNC Pembroke, Columbus State. Well, that guy didn't waste any time for Columbus State. Isaac Burton after the first pitch, and a foul ball down the right side.
And you can see right away that when he went into the warning track area, he slid straight down into the mud.
Well, I mean, you look down the sides of the field; it's still very wet. The track part. Hey, this is an elimination game for one of these teams. UNC Pembroke lost last night 12-3 against Newberry. Columbus State lost earlier today 15-13 against Belmont Abbey. So one of these teams is going to continue, the other is not. On the mound for UNC Pembroke, Spencer Ledford, a right-hander. And Jimmy, if I'm reading this right, this is only his second appearance of the entire year.
Yeah, he's only pitched 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 strikeout, no earned run average.
And the right-hander, Ledford, ready. His fastball fouled back. All right, Isaac Burton at the batting. Isaiah Hernandez on deck. Steve Minter will hit third. Derek Wiley will hit fourth for Columbus State. Wynn Johns fifth. Trace Twardowski sixth. Matthew McDade seventh. Ian King eighth. And Connor Curley ninth. Breaking ball high in the count. 2-2. The defense for UNC Pembroke. Trent Harris at third, Carlos Amezquita at shortstop, Spencer Faulkner at second, Will Hood at first, Jake Bradley behind the plate, Joey Rezick in left field, Christian Jane in center, Cody O'Connor in right, as Burton strikes out on a high fastball, and that's how this game unfolds. Well, what are you speculating here why Ledford, who's only made 1 appearance, is starting, you wonder?
I don't know. That's a good question. Very limited, obviously, just 2 1/3 innings now.
Makes me suspect of the pitching staff for UNC Pembroke because this is an elimination game. And or then again, you know, Jimmy, maybe Ledford's just going to be called upon to go like 1 or 2 or 3 innings.
Right.
Bouncer slowly moving in. The shortstop, Amezquita, on the grass. Quick throw in time, and there's out number 2. And it will bring up Steve Minter, who hit a 3-run home run in the earlier game today against Belmont Abbey.
Of course, Columbus State didn't play last night. Only Newberry and Pembroke played because of the rain. It delayed us till 9 o'clock, so Columbus State playing a doubleheader here today.
Pitch by Ledford, curveball across strike 1. I remember vividly last night you said, excuse me, first pitch 9:04.
That's correct.
And I believe the game went to about 5 after midnight. It's roughly a 3-hour game. And that's why they had this earlier game today. They couldn't play the second game last night. Fly ball, not hit that deep to right. Coming on, Cody O'Connor, still coming in, makes a catch. And 1-2-3 goes Columbus State here in the top of the first. So we're underway in this ball game. At the end of a half an inning, it's Columbus State nothing and Pembroke coming up. Georgia, and his numbers: 7 wins, 2 losses. This is his 15th start. He did pitch 2 complete games.
88 in the 3rd innings pitched, 80 hits, 56 strikeouts, earned run average 3.16.
Behind him, he's got Isaiah Hernandez at 3rd. Isaac Burton is at shortstop for the Cougars. Matthew McDade at 2nd. Trace Twardowski at 1st. Ian King behind the plate. Wynn Johns in left. Connor Curley in center. Derek Wiley is in right field. And here's Spencer Faulkner to lead off for Pembroke. And he takes a fastball outside. Last night, Jimmy, Faulkner hit way down in the batting order. I think he hit like 5th, and he's leading off today. And the pitch to Faulkner right down the middle.
Yeah, hitting .319, 53 runs, 2 homers, 39 runs batted in. But you're right, he was further down in the order in the game last night.
Christian Janes on deck. There's a swing. Soft liner, might drop. It does. Base hit to right field. Oh, here's a question for you, Jimmy. Now, this is an elimination game. Do you think either of these teams, or maybe both, will be relaxed and just play, or maybe tighten up a bit?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, there's no tomorrow for either one, so. Well, there is for Belmont Abbey, I guess.
They play tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's Christian Jane.
But for Columbus State and Pembroke, one of these teams is going to be done after this ball game.
Jane at .383, left-handed batter, pitch down and in. Jane recognized as, recognized as being one of the best players in the Southeastern Conference. Of course, Newberry, who will play later, they have the Southeast Region Player of the Year in Braylon Marine. The pitch, curveball, that's in there. The count 1-1 here on Jane. Christian went 2 for 5 against Newberry last night. And, of course, Jimmy and I will have Newberry. We're guessing between anywhere from 7:30 to 8:30.
You know, Columbus State in that first game lost 15-13 to Belmont Abbey, but they scored 4 runs in the top of the 9th to get back to within 2.
They were down 9-0
right
early. And I think somebody out in the hall, and I agreed with them, and said, boy, I thought they were just going to get blown out. I said, yeah, I did too, but got to give them credit. You don't score 13 runs very often and lose. Ground ball, base hit, right field. Faulkner's going to round second and take third.
Yeah, he was taken off on the pitch. Perfect execution there on that, and the base hit to right field puts runners at first and third for the Braves of UNC Pembroke.
And brings up Ethan Ott. Ethan at .377, 9 home runs, 52 driven in. He went 1 for 5 in the 12-3 loss to Newberry last night. So here's Ethan to stand in. They're on the corners and nobody out. And the right-hander, Noah Windhorst from the stretch. And the pitch. Looked like a slider. Well, that's why I'm not umping, Jimmy. I thought that was outside.
Caught the corner, apparently, at least according to the man behind the plate.
Nothing in 1 the count. And the pitch by Windhorst. Ground ball might be 2, but that's going to get a run in short. Second baseman had time but didn't make the throw. I mean, the guy, Christian James slid in at second, Jimmy, but I don't think particularly hard.
No, I thought he was going to make the throw to first for the double play. Run still scores. They get the force out at second. But with just 1 away, Pembroke with a man at first base. Here's Joey Rezick.
So it's 1-0 Pembroke. And it looked like Columbus State was going to turn a double play. The run, of course, would have still come in. But second baseman Matthew McDade did not throw back to first. The pitch driven, left center field gap. If it gets down, it's going to go to the wall. It does. It's up against the wall. Ethan Ott is at second. He hits third. They're going to wave him in. He'll come around to score standing up. It's 2-0. Pembroke. That didn't take long, Jimmy.
No, an RBI double for Joey Rezick, scoring another run here. So all of a sudden, Pembroke up 2-0 in the bottom of the first.
And the batter now, Will Hood, who pinch hit in the 9th last night against Newberry, and he struck out.
That was the only action he saw in that game.
Yeah. Out from the first base dugout, head coach Greg Appleton of Columbus. It could be a quick day for Columbus if they were bounced. I mean, if they lose this, of course, it's only the first team. They'd be bounced out. They'd be the first team out.
Yeah, we should have played, 2 games yesterday, 2 games today, and then whatever. But, of course, because of the long 5.5-hour delay, we didn't get started, as you pointed out, until 9:04 last night, finishing just after midnight. So 3 games today. They played at noon, or right at noon, just after noon, I guess. And that game was the 15-13 Belmont Abbey win over Columbus State. Here we are in game 2 of the day.
Can't get used to these coaches with Bluetooth in their ear. They're calling pitches. I read the other day, Major League, they're not, putting the one down for the fastball and all that. It's all electronic.
Yeah. And I've got a comment about the Bluetooth part, and we'll talk about that in a minute. It doesn't have anything to do with baseball, but here's the pitch.
Will Hood takes a curveball across. Are you a Bluetooth fan?
No, I was just going to say, if you would have told me even a year ago that a golfer who's leading a golf tournament would be walking up the fairway talking to the commentators while he's playing in a tournament, I'd have said that's not going to happen. But it has started to happen.
A little bit low from Win Horse. Excuse me. 1-1 the count on Will Hood.
Now, I forget which tournament I was watching the other day, but this particular player was in, pretty touchy situation, and he still talked to him coming up the fairway, which is weird.
Yeah, I thought etiquette was you don't say anything. Yeah. 0-1 the count on Will Hood with 2 runs in for Pembroke. Swing, opposite field base hit, right field, third base. Rezick coming to the plate. Here comes a throw. Rezick slides around the tag. Nice move by Rezick, Jimmy.
Yeah, just a little head-first kind of hook slide almost there, if you will, as he got around the catcher. The throw was close, but he beat it.
It's 3-0 Pembroke. They strike early here. 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning, and the batter is Cody O'Connor, their right fielder. Cody at .355 with 11 home runs and 51 runs driven in.
You pointed out in the broadcast last night between Newberry and Pembroke that this Pembroke ball club went 7-0 against SAC teams this regular season.
They swept Wingate, swept UV Wise, beat Coker, and beat Catawba 11-1. I left somebody out. Is that 7?
I don't know. I wasn't adding up while you were talking.
3 against Wise, 2 against Wingate, Catawba and Coker. Yeah, that's 7.
Yep.
The pitch. Outside to the left-handed batter, Cody O'Connor. And still just 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning for the Braves, University of North Carolina at Pembroke, which is, I don't know, 25 miles south of Fayetteville. Breaking ball across, and the count 2-1.
O'Connor, I don't know if you mentioned this, but he went hitless last night in 2 at-bats. Did pick up a walk in the loss to Newberry.
2 balls, 1 strike, stretch, and the pitch to Cody O'Connor. And it's outside, and the count goes 3-1. O'Connor steps out of the batter's box. Now he stands back in, left-handed batter, 3-1 count. And the pitch. Fouled back. That was right out over the plate, Jimmy.
Yep. Three runs on 4 hits for Pembroke so far here in this bottom half of the first inning.
So both of these teams obviously know what's at stake. One's going to go home, one's going to keep going and play tomorrow. Runner breaks, pitch on the outside corner, called a strike, throw down to second is late, a stolen base for Will Hood. O'Connor strikes out, and that's out number 2. And brings up the shortstop, Carlos Amisquita, who went 1 for 4 against Newberry last night. Amisquita from the Dominican Republic, left-handed batter, stands in. Carlos batting .299, no home runs, 36 driven in. And the pitch, he looks at a curveball. Low the count, 1-0. Let me see where he transferred in. I was looking at it last night. Transferred in, yeah, Patrick and Henry Community College.
2 of those guys did, if I remember correctly, were on that that lineup last night. You say that was up around Raleigh somewhere?
I'm guessing Virginia. Patrick.
Okay, Virginia, yeah.
Yeah, UNC Pembroke has several guys who transferred in from East Carolina, a couple from UNC Wilmington, 2 guys from High Point, 1 pitcher from Coastal Carolina. 1-2 the count on the 2-out batter, Carlos Amisquita. And he waits a pitch by Windhorse. Swing, foul back. And the count remains 1-2. 2 outs, bottom of the first. Amisquita steps out of the batter's box for a moment. And now he waits a 1-2 pitch to Carlos. And he slaps a pitch foul. Good defensive swing, Jimmy. That was on the outside corner.
Hanging in there, 1 ball, 2 strikes as he fouls that away. Overcast here. I thought we were beginning to brighten up a little bit, but the skies have gotten overcast again. But the forecast, last time I checked, wasn't calling for any more rain today.
Pitch outside the count, 2-2. Thank goodness, I think we've seen enough. Rain, that is. 2 outs, 2-2 count. Runner at second for UNC Pembroke. They've already scored 3 runs and lead 3-0 here, bottom of the first. And a fastball low. Now the count 3-2.
And you know, this game started close to 4:30, so by the time it's done, assuming it goes 3 hours, it's going to be 8 o'clock before we get started in the Newberry game later on tonight.
Oh, yeah.
At least.
I hope. 3-2 pitch. Got him swing and a miss. I was just going to say before Windhorse threw that pitch that I don't think either of these coaches are going to let either of these starters get in any trouble and go too long. All right, 3 runs in on 3 hits. Make that 4 hits and a man left for Pembroke. 3-0 UNCP leads. We'll be back with the second. Top of the second inning, 3-0. UNC Pembroke leads Columbus State University, the Cougars. Here's Derek Wiley. He's going to lead off for the Cougars in the top of the second. Jimmy Wiley hit 19 home runs during the regular season, but earlier today he was held kind of quiet.
64 runs batted in, batting .332 on the year is Wiley.
It'll be Derek Wiley, then Wynn Johns, and then Trace Twardowski for the Cougars to face Spencer Ledford. We mentioned In the first inning, Ledford making just his second appearance of the season. Fastball across, and the count 0-1 on Derek Wiley. Wiley batting .332, 19 home runs, as Jimmy said. Wiley's driven in 64 runs. That's Braylon Marine territory. Swing and a miss. Braylon Marine, for those who don't know, plays for Newberry. I believe he is driven in 67.
Something like that.
0-2 the count on Derek. And the pitch. Across. Good pitch. That didn't take long, did it?
No, it did not.
3 pitches and Wiley's gone. Second strikeout for Ledford. Now, obviously, I'm just guessing here, Jimmy, but here you got Ledford making his second appearance of the entire season. And, man, I bet if Pembroke would be just tickled pink to get about 4 out of him, 4 innings.
And he's been pretty sharp so far, too.
Yeah, he has.
3 1/3 innings pitched on the year as of right now. So
his first pitch low to Win Johns, W-I-N as in win and loss. Win Johns, the right-handed batter. The pitch to Win is a breaking ball, and he takes it. The count 1-1. Well, one thing about Ledford, at least up to this point, Jimmy, he works fast. He looks in. Ledford does. The pitch to Win. Tapper, foul, third base side. And then over there in our closest bracket, that was it, North Greenville bracket, they are playing Mount Olive, right?
I think so, yep.
Yeah, North Greenville won him with a 3-run home run in the 9th inning last night. Check swing. Did Johns go? He did. And so there's another strikeout. That's 3 for Ledford.
Now 4, actually.
Huh.
4 on the season, I guess that would be.
Okay.
Yep. 3 in the ball game. So that's what I'm saying, though. That's how impressive he's been so far. He's got 4 strikeouts, and 3 of them have come this afternoon already.
I see what they're doing. Fastball out and away. Ball 1 to the 2-out batter, Trace Twardorski. 3-0. Pembroke leading Columbus State here in the top of the second. The pitch fouled back toward the parking lot. Always put your front windshield away from the stadium if possible. I think there'll be a nice crowd when Newberry plays later.
I think so.
Pitch. Watch out, up and in. Twardorski has to get out of the way. In the earlier game today, Trace went 1 for 3 against Belmont Abbey. And now the 2-1 pitch is high in the count, 3-1. Matthew McDade is on deck. Spencer Ledford trying to work his second consecutive 1-2-3 inning. But he's 1 pitch away from walking Trace Twardowski. Here's a 3-1 to Trace. And he does. He walks him. First base runner for the Cougars.
First walk for Ledford, too.
And it brings up Matthew McDade, the second baseman for Columbus State. McDade at 308 has some pop, has hit 10 home runs, has driven in 62. And so McDade stands in with 2 outs and a runner at first base for the Cougars. And the pitch to McDade, breaking ball off the plate. Well, the umpires have been interesting behind home plate in the series. This guy, I don't know his name, I apologize, kind of gave it that hesitation move. But I do like the fact they work a 4-man crew. It's a hard job. The pitch. And that hangs high in the count, 2-0.
You know, we probably should take a minute here to thank all those involved in getting this field ready to play on.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday was just almost an unbelievable situation to have to work through, but they did it. From the Newberry grounds crew to all the other folks who worked this tournament, from the Newberry Athletic Department, sports information, all the people who, you know, work on making sure this field is playable, and You know, we were even talking the South Atlantic Conference and Southeastern Region Coach of the Year, Russell Triplett, out working on the field earlier today as well. So it was no small task to get this field ready for play. Now, the tarp was out for the infield, but there was a lot of water in the outfield, a lot of water in front of the dugouts and around behind the plate and in the warning track area. So tip of the hat to everybody who made that happen yesterday. Just the fact they played a game is almost unbelievable.
Pitching coach Jeff Jefferson just made a trip out to talk with Ledford. Now Ledford looks in, takes a sign from the catcher, Jake Bradley. And the pitch by Ledford. Fastball popped up, ball carries a little, so coming on as center fielder Christian Jane still coming in, and he makes the catch, and that retires the side. No runs, hits, errors, and one man left for Columbus State. Bottom of the second, coming up, still 3-0 UNC Pembroke. Bottom of the second, where it's a 3-0 lead by Pembroke. Gary Griffith and Jimmy Coggins. Jimmy and I will also have the Newberry, I lost my train of thought, Belmont Abbey. I'm trying to keep up with all these games.
Yeah, as we speak, Pembroke and Columbus State are 0-1. They're playing right now. One of these teams, as you mentioned earlier, will be eliminated. Newberry and Belmont Abbey, both 1-0, will play later on tonight.
Pitch on the way, and it's a breaking ball high, ball one to Trent Harris, the third baseman for Pembroke, who leads off the bottom of the second inning.
So we make it to this Friday here, as we have game 2 of the day. One of these two teams will be going home after this ball game.
And another curveball taken, 1 ball and 1 strike to Trent Harris. Harris batting .314. 5 home runs, he drove in 30. Now the pitch by the right-hander Windhorse, inside the count, 2-1. Windhorse from the windup, 2-1 pitch. Ground ball, base hit, left field. Well, Pembroke not wasting any time here in the second either, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's their 5th hit of the day. Comes here in the bottom half of the second inning. They picked up 4 hits, 3 runs on 4 hits in the first, and they're off to a similar start here in the second.
Batter's Jake Bradley. Jake batting .183, had 20 hits and 109 bats during the season. He squares to bunt, takes a pitch across, and the count 0-1 on Jake Bradley. Bottom of the second inning, UNC Pembroke leading Columbus State, 3-0. And now the pitch by Windhorse to Bradley. Bradley trying to bunt. Catcher throws down to first.
Well, that was pretty close. He just got his hand back in there. That tag was slapped right as the fingertips hit the bag at first.
Probably getting a look at it on replay. You'll see how close that was. And now a 1-1 pitch. Again, Bradley trying to bunt. Two balls, 1 strike. The count to Jake Bradley here in the bottom of the second inning. as UNC Pembroke trying to add to their 3-0 lead. Windhorse working slowly. Bradley again trying to bunt. Now 2 strikes on Jake, Jimmy, so I don't think he's going to bunt with two strikes. All right, I don't think he should. He's checking, see if they want him to still bunt. Third baseman Isaiah Hernandez backs up. First baseman Twardorski holding the runner Harris. The pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Bradley does strike out. He was not bunting. Third strikeout for the right-hander Noah Windhorst.
59 for him on the season now.
Top of the batting order is Spencer Faulkner, who singled and then came in to score on a fielder's choice by Ethan Ott. So Faulkner up for his second time already. The pitch to Spencer, breaking ball. He takes it. The count 0-1. Last night, Faulkner hit 5th in the lineup against Newberry. Today, he's the leadoff man for the Braves. He's taking a long look at his head coach, Paul O'Neill, I should say. No, it is Paul O'Neill. Didn't he play for the Yankees, Paul O'Neill? Not this Paul O'Neill, but. And again, Faulkner out of the batter's box checking with Coach O'Neill. Runner at first is Trent Harris. And the stretch by Windhorse is breaking ball. That's low. And the count 1-1 strike. Bottom of the second inning in this Newberry region, which is part of the Southeast Regionals. Similar action going all over the country. These regionals, they pare it down. And the D2 College World Series is in Cary, North Carolina. The pitch, runner breaks. Swung on, popped out into right field. Wiley's going to throw back to first. Not in time. The throw gets away, but the runner, Harris, is going to hold. And that's out number 2. I'll tell you, a sharper, more accurate throw would have had him, Jimmy, at first.
Yeah, he was almost caught off there, and looks like the first baseman, Twardowski, a little bit shaken up on that play as he went back to the bag, tried to slap the tag, but he's okay. And he's a little slow getting up there.
Here's Christian Jane, who singled in the first inning. Christian 1 for 1. Bottom half inning number 2. And now the pitch to Christian Jane. Instead of a quick throw to first, back in safely. Stretch, and the pitch by Windhorse pulled foul up the first base side.
What breeze there is blowing a little bit out toward right. Flag waving kind of between the flagpole and the right field foul pole.
0-1 the count on Christian Jane. Jane, a left-handed batter, waiting. Here's the pitch by Windhorse. Swing and a miss. Boy, Jane was way back on his heels on that, Jimmy.
He was.
Nothing in 2 the count on the 2-out batter, Christian Jane. Christian waiting as Windhorse, the right-hander, sets. And the 2-strike pitch. Popped up, should end the inning. First baseman Twardowski in foul territory makes the catch, and that does retire the side. No runs, a hit. Pembroke leads a man on, but they still lead Columbus State 3-0. We'll be back with the top of the 3rd. The top of the third, Gary Griffith with Jimmy Coggins. It's a 3-0 lead by Pembroke. And here in the top of the third for the Columbus State Cougars, it'll be their catcher Ian King to lead it off.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, they had one base runner last inning. That was a walk. They've yet to pick up their first hit of the contest, Columbus State.
It'll be the 8, the 9, and the 1 hitters, King, then Connor Curley, and then back to the top of the batting order, and Isaac Burton. And the pitch to Ian is a breaking ball across. Strike one from Spencer Ledford, making only his second appearance of the year.
And has more than doubled his innings pitched right here already.
Yep. He'd worked only 2 innings, right?
Right.
Breaking ball down low, the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Once again, the winner of this game.
Sorry, I've seen you have to wonder if maybe he'd been injured part of the year or something.
Yeah, something's up. I mean, that's what I thought. A drive to center field, it drops. Base hit. Actually, a smart play by Christian Jane not to try to overrun it. He let it drop in front of him. Yeah, I mean, I was just, this guy's only making his second appearance. And I was wondering the same thing. Was he hurt? But he looks pretty good from what we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 strikeouts in the ball game so far. We mentioned the 1 walk that he gave up. That was the lone Columbus State base runner so far in the ball game up until now.
Here's the number 9 hitter for Columbus State, Connor Curley, who squares the bunt, takes a pitch outside the count, 1-0. Third baseman Trent Harris is in close. Harris still stays in on the grass. And the pitch by Ledford is a fastball up and in. The count 2-0 on Connor Curley, who was not showing bunt that time. And the count 2-0. Isaac Burton is on deck. From the stretch, Ledford is ready. The right-hander's pitch to Curley. Curveball. That misses in the count 2-1. Well, I said earlier, if Pembroke could get maybe, say, 4 innings out of Ledford, they'd be happy. Nobody in their bullpen right now. Or heck fire, they might let him go as long as he wants. In the early part of the season, most of the guys are on pitch limits. And the pitch here, fastball high, that's ball 4. So Curley is on. And Columbus State has runners at first and second.
By the way, I was talking about the weather yesterday, and I didn't look at this, didn't notice this last night, but under the heading of weather in the box score from last night, it says, I need a jar of dirt. Amen to that.
You said what?
I need a jar of dirt. That was our weather forecast, or our weather report for the game last night.
How about a dump truck full of dirt?
Some drying agent for sure.
Swinging a foul back, the count 0-1 on Isaac Burton. Burton struck out to start the ball game. Top of the third, 3-0 UNC Pembroke.
Early today, the weather forecast was slowly drying out in the first game today.
Tying runner standing at home plate. Curveball popped up. Left side of the infield, third baseman Trent Harris. Under it, makes a catch rather nonchalantly there.
I was going to say the same thing, but he made it.
He made it. And here comes Isaiah Hernandez, who hit a home run earlier today in the loss to Belmont Abbey. Hernandez hit a solo home run in the 6th inning earlier today against the Crusaders. Isaiah stands in, left-handed batter. The pitch is a curveball down low, and the count is 1-0. Runners at first and second, 1 out.
Yeah, so prior to this inning, as we mentioned a couple of times, only 1 base runner for Columbus State, but now 2 here in this 3rd inning.
Stretch in the pitch. That's way outside. The count goes to 2-0. You can hear the other team's taking batting practice at batting cage down the left field side. The pitch here to Isaiah. Did it hit him? I think so. It did.
Must have got him on the hand.
So now the tying runner is on. So the bases are loaded. Ian King moves over to third. Connor Curley advances to second. They are loaded for Stephen Minter, the designated hitter. Minter hit a 3-run home run earlier today. I believe this might be the head coach coming out for UNC Pembroke, Coach O'Neill. I think that is Paul.
You mentioned Minter, the DH. 6 at-bats in the first game today. 2 runs, 2 hits, 5 runs batted in. So he was a big part of that.
Oh yeah.
That loss, 15-13 to Belmont Abbey. And as you pointed out, at one point, Columbus State was down, what, 9-0?
9-0. So I got to give them credit. They never let up. Scored 13 runs and still lost. Well, the entire Pembroke infield out on the mound talking it over with head coach O'Neill. Do they have any? I believe they do, don't they? Try to reach around and look.
Just sent somebody up out there in the left field bullpen.
So Ledford might be on a short string now with the bases loaded, as Pembroke has action in their bullpen. Top half, inning number 3. It is a 3-0 lead by Pembroke against Columbus State. But Columbus State now has the bases loaded. The batter, Minter. Ground ball. Third baseman Harris comes right to home plate with it. There's one. Throw to first. In time, a 5-2-3 double play. Nicely turned by Pembroke. And that ends the top of the third. No runs, a hit, and 2 men left. On to the bottom of the third. Still 3-0 Pembroke. Pembroke, University of North Carolina at Pembroke leading Columbus State. And in the bottom of the third inning for the Pembroke Braves, it's going to be Ethan Ott, Joey Rezick, and Will Hood. And here's Ethan Ott, who reached on a fielder's choice that drove a run in the first inning. The 3, the 4, and the 5 hitters, Ethan Ott, Joey Rezick, and Will Hood. First pitch down low, the count 1-0. And the right-handed batter, Mr. Ethan Ott. Ethan waiting. Starting pitcher Noah Winhurst, who gave up 3 runs in the first, he is still out there, and his pitch is low. The count 1 ball, 1 strike. Winhurst into his windup, the pitch. Ground ball, glove side, third baseman Hernandez up with it, throwing in time. There's out number 1. And brings up Joey Rezick. Joey doubled and drove in a run in the first inning. The winner of this game plays tomorrow. The loser does not. Their season's over. And then Newberry plays Belmont Abbey later tonight. We're guessing, oh, I don't know. We hope optimistically 7:30 or 8.
It's going to be at least 8, I bet you.
I think you're right. I really don't. What time is it now?
It's about 5:15.
I think that's realistic.
In fact, it is exactly 5:15.
Because they have to allow time between the games. Breaking ball up. And the count 3-0. On Joey Rezick, 2-0. Joey waiting, left-handed batter. And the pitch by Windhorse. He drops a curveball in there. The count 2-1. Pembroke 3 runs, 5 hits. Columbus State no runs and 1 hit. Here comes a 2-1 pitch by Windhorse to Joey. And Rezick steps into a bucket, as they used to say. He was really fooled on that pitch.
I'm not sure he didn't get just a little piece of that pitch.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. And a 2-2 to Joey. Outside. First full count that Windhorse has worked. Noah has struck out 3, has not given up a walk, but he did give up 3 runs in the first inning. And now a 3-2 pitch to Joey Rezick. Got him swinging a miss. He tied him up. Not a good looking at bat by Rezick that time, Jimmy.
Yeah, Windhorst went to work on him pretty well there. Got the strikeout. And Will Hood comes up here now, 1 for 1 in this ball game, including a run batted in. 53 runs batted in on the season for Mr. Hood.
2 outs, nobody on. Will Hood, the batter. Will singled and drove in a run in the first, and the pitch to Will is down low for ball 1. Hood had 1 at bat last night, a pinch hit appearance in the 9th against Newberry, and he struck out. But his first time up today, he singled and drove in a run. And the 1-0 to Will. Breaking ball low, and the count 2-0 to Will Hood. Windhorse trying to retire Pembroke in order here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Windhorse has kind of settled down since he gave up those runs in the first. His curveball in there. And the count 2-1. In fact, Windhorse has retired 7 of the last 8. The pitch. There's a breaking ball. That's a good pitch. It's across the count, 2-2. Windhorse into his windup, has what he likes. And here comes a 2-2 to Hood down low, and another full count, second full count that Windhorse has worked. And maybe he's not going to work a 1-2-3. If he walks Will Hood, then Cody O'Connor would come up next. Bottom half, inning number 3. Second game of the day. The pitch, foul back. The 3rd game will be later. That'll be Newberry and Belmont Abbey. And I'm going to guess, Jimmy, that Newberry will start Ethan LeBron. You think that's a pretty safe bet?
Could be, could be. You mentioned Shinpire last night. He could possibly start.
Well, there's a base hit up the middle, so Windhorse will not retire Pembroke in order, and that's the 2nd hit today for Will Hood.
Hit number 6 for the Braves.
And it brings up Cody O'Connor, who struck out swinging in the first inning. Cody's going to stand in. Cody 0 for 1. And they are holding Will Hood as close as they can at first. The pitch. Breaking ball a little bit inside the count. 1-0 to the left-handed batter, Cody O'Connor, who started the afternoon. O'Connor hitting .355, 11 home runs. 1-0 pitch. Popped up, left side of the infield. Here comes third baseman Isaiah Hernandez down the line, and he makes a catch in fair territory, and that will retire the side for Pembroke. No runs, a hit. They leave a man on. Jimmy will be back with you in the 4th inning. It's a 3-0 lead by Pembroke.
Ledford on the mound for the Braves of UNC Pembroke. One hit given up so far. He struck out 3, walked 2. Leading it off for Columbus State here in the top of the 4th, Derek Wiley. Wiley with a strikeout first time up today, so he's 0 for 1 in the afternoon. He bats in the cleanup spot for Columbus State. 3-0 Braves. Here's the pitch to Wiley. Inside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Wiley, Johns, and Tradowski due for Columbus State here in this top half of the 4th inning. Swing and a miss for a strike. Count evens. Ledford readies the 1-1 pitch. Inside corner, strike 2. The NCAA Southeast Regional number 2 being hosted by the Wolves of Newberry College. 1-2 pitch, misses and gets away from the Braves catcher. That is Jake Bradley. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Derek Wiley, leading off this top half of the 4th inning for the Columbus State Ball Club. Two, just apparently a bit high. Ball 3, count runs full, 3-2. Pembroke lost to Newberry last night. Columbus State lost to Belmont Abbey 15-13 earlier today. There's a ball hit towards center field, and a little jump catch out there in center field for UNC Pembroke by Christian Janey. 1 down in the inning. That'll bring up Wynn Johns. Wynn Johns, 0 for 1 of the day. He too struck out his last time up. Johns, the right-handed hitting left fielder for Columbus State. Little conversation going on now with the pitcher Spencer Ledford as third baseman Isaiah Hernandez goes to the mound to talk to Ledford. Now the umpire is going to go break that up before he gets there. Hernandez heads back to the third base sack. Now here comes one of the Braves coaches here. And they're going to make a change. And the infield comes in to give Spencer Ledford a hand. And as we mentioned, he had only pitched like 2 innings on the whole season coming in. He goes 5 1/3 innings here today, gives up 3 hits, strikes out 4, and gets a hand from the Braves contingent here at Smith Road Complex. So there will be a pitching change here. And if I'm not mistaken, last time I checked, I believe the man in the bullpen was Luke Barrow, a junior right-hander. Let's see if that is the case. Top half of the 4th inning here. Game 2 of the day. This originally would have been game 1 of this day, but they had to play the second game that didn't get played last night earlier today. So it is going to be Luke Barrow, a junior right-hander. Numbers on Barrow for the season: 40 1/3 innings pitched, 23 hits, 69 strikeouts, an earned run average of 3.35. And he will take his warm-up tosses here to begin his relief effort. Again, the man he'll face will be Wynn Johns. Trace Tredowski is on deck. There's one man out in the inning.
We were close. We thought if they could get 4 out of Ledford, they'd be happy.
We got a really good round. I know you were out of the booth there for a second. He got a really good round of applause coming off of here. So, as I say, I'm not privy to the story as to why he'd only pitched 2 innings, but he sure did a good job here this afternoon.
Yep. And he goes 3 1/3, so he's close. Close to what I thought he might go.
Luke Barrow, a big, tall right-hander, a junior. Gary, you might have some more information on him.
Trying to find Barrow as we talk. What's his number?
51.
51. Oh, it's 21. 6'2", 190 out of Oak Ridge, North Carolina. And one of the guys who is a transfer, he started out at Coastal Carolina. Usually when I see a guy come from a school like Coastal to one of these schools, I'm guessing he wants a lot more playing time.
Most likely.
Coastal Carolina having another great year. I noticed the other day.
Yeah, they are. All right, here's Wynn Johns. As I mentioned earlier, 1 strikeout on the day. He will be making his second trip to the plate this afternoon in this 3-0 ball game as the Braves lead Columbus State 3-0 here in the 5th. Johns goes to work, or Barrow, I should say, goes to work, and there's a ball hit towards center field. That one is well hit to the deepest part of the park, and it is out of here. Dead center field at the 400-foot mark. And Wynn Johns takes that thing right to the middle of the center field area, deepest part of the ballpark.
Well, we've said this repeatedly, but it's 400 feet to center.
He went right over the 400-foot sign.
410 might be realistic.
It looked for a minute as if the center fielder, who by the way is Connor Curley, or Criley I should say, might have been able to make a play, but then when he just looked up, you could tell that ball was out of here.
10th home run of the season for Wynn Johns.
There's a strike to Trace Tredowski. Trace walked earlier in the ball game. Barrow sets, and the 0-1 pitch on the way. Missed ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Columbus was down earlier today 9-0 against Belmont and came back. And here they are right back in this game. It's only a 3-1 lead by Pembroke.
2 hits now for Columbus State. There's a strike and the count goes to 1-2 on Tredowski. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Braves. 1 run, 2 hits. That, of course, was the Wynn Johns home run just a moment ago. Tredowski awaits the 1-2 from Barrow. Here it comes. Off the mark, 2-2. Matthew McDade on deck for Columbus State. Now the 2-2 toss. Missed low and away. Count runs full, 3-2. Of course, coming up here later today, it's Newberry and Belmont Abbey. Newberry picking up a school record 42 wins in their win last night. The other part of history made here, the Wolves won a NCAA tournament game for the first time. They won a lot of NAI tournament games back in the day, but that's the first NCAA tournament game. There's ball 4.
It's going to bring the tying runner to home plate.
And that is in the person of Matthew McDade. McDade looking for his first hit this afternoon. He has 10 home runs and 62 runs batted in. Newberry taking some cuts down in the batting cage. You can hear those bats clicking down there as we play through this ball game. Here's the pitch on the way, and there's a strike to Matthew McDade from Luke Barrow.
At the end of the first game, I said, you don't really say the crack of the bat anymore. It's kind of like the ping.
Yeah. One strike to count now to Matthew McDade. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Well, the sports world lost a pretty darn good football player today. Jim Brown passing away. Here's a great photo of Jim Brown in his Cleveland Browns uniform on social media earlier this afternoon, and it is just plain muddy. He looked like he might have played a baseball game here this weekend. Runner goes. He's in safely. Ball gets away from the catcher. Back in the days before field turf, they played in the rain and the mud.
And he played at that old, what was it, Memorial Stadium, a gigantic thing right there on Lake Erie.
Yeah, and what a football player. Many times he'd take that football and run, and he looked like he couldn't get up. He'd kind of hobble back to the huddle and run for 50 yards. Swing and a miss. And that's it for Matthew McDade, out number 2 here. Here's Ian King, 1 for 1 on the afternoon. Picked up a hit at his last time at bat here. 2 down, though, in the Columbus State inning as we play in the top half of the 4th. 1 run is in. Here's the pitch. Missed up and in. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Columbus State with runner down at second base. 1-0 pitch to King, and it comes up, and he has to duck away, or he might have taken that in the side of the face. 2 balls, no strikes. Barrow looks back to second. Now the 2-0 toss. Off the plate, ball 3. Nobody working in the Pembroke bullpen down on the left field side. The catcher standing down there with one of the players, but they're not actually throwing or anything at the moment. Here's the pitch. That misses, ball 4. Tying runs are on now for Columbus State at first and second. And that's going to bring up Connor Curley. Curley walked first time up this afternoon. Left-handed hitting Curley here. He is the center fielder for Columbus State. Two out, 2 men on as Curley steps in. Barrow checks the runner at second base. Now comes with the pitch to Curley. Slides in there for a strike. Yeah, there were some hardy souls out here last night watching the Wolves play. And with their game coming up against Belmont Abbey later tonight, if we can get by with no rain, I think you'll see a huge crowd here. Swing and a miss, strike two. 0-2 now the count on Connor Curley. Curley, the left-handed hitting center fielder, hitting .306 for Columbus State. Barrow's 0-2 pitch with 2 men out, 2 men on. Here it comes. Just missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Losers bracket game, Pembroke and Columbus State. The loser is done. The winner stays alive in this Southeast Region Tournament number 2, or Regional number 2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball foul off of first. Curley awaits. Here's the 1-2. Missed high. Ball 2. Count evens 2-2. 3-1 the score. So the tying run at first base. 2 men are out. And an even 2-2 count to Connor Curley. As I mentioned earlier, he picked up a walk in his first at bat earlier. See if Luke Barrow can get him out here. There's a call strike, and that'll do it as Barrow strikes out Curley. So here in the top half of the 4th inning, Columbus State does put 1 run across. They leave 2, and we'll be back for the bottom of the 4th inning with the score: Pembroke 3, Columbus State 1. Bottom half the 4th inning from the Smith Road Complex here in Newberry, South Carolina. NCAA Southeast Regional number 2, Columbus State and UNC Pembroke. Right now, Pembroke, the Braves, with a 3-1 lead over the Cougars. Leading it off for the Braves here, Carlos Amezquita. He's the shortstop. Pitch in there for a call strike. Noah Windhorst is the pitcher. His pitch count 60. 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 4 strikeouts so far in the ball game. The 1-strike pitch, chopped foul, first base side. So the count will go to 0-2 on Amezquita. Amezquita struck out his first time up at the ball game earlier today. The left-handed hitting shortstop for the UNC Pembroke Braves. The 0-2 toss off the mark, outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. One-two pitch, driven towards center field, coming on the center fielder, and he won't get there. That drops in for a base hit for Amasquita, leading off the top half of the 4th inning here, and that's his first hit of the day. So 1 for 1 plus the pass on the day for Amasquita, and here comes Trent Harris. Harris is 1 for 1 in the afternoon. So Pembroke with a base runner aboard. That, by the way, was their 7th hit of the day. And Harris stands in, waiting the first pitch from Noah Windhorst. A little bit high, ball 1. One ball, no strikes. One-oh pitch, popped up, middle of the infield. Second baseman back in short center field makes the catch for out number 2. That is Spencer Faulkner. Actually, out number 1, I beg your pardon, as they got that base hit to lead off the inning. So 1 down and a man at first. Here's Jake Bradley. Throw to first, not in time. Bradley struck out his last time up. He's 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Another throw to first, not in time.
I think they just turned the lights on.
They did.
Right.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, quite frankly, they weren't on earlier, but they did just turn them on. I was wondering in the top of this inning earlier, how long they might wait before turning them on, but they are on. It's still pretty overcast here. So far, I don't think we've had any rainfall, and we don't, or at least there's not any in the forecast. That doesn't mean it won't rain. But we should be good to go the rest of the day and tonight. And tomorrow doesn't look too bad. Runner goes, here's the throw down, and it is in time. They get him. Stolen base erased there by the Cougars as they cut down the man at first. Now 2 away. And Bradley will step back in. No, 1 ball, no strikes on him. The bases are cleared now, and here's the pitch to Bradley. Curveball missed, 2-0. Two-0 pitch high. Nice throw down by King, the catcher there. Right on the mark.
I mean, Amasquita kind of ran out of slide.
He did. 3-0 toss to the plate. On the corner strike, it'll go to 3-1.
Now, is it my imagination, or some of these lights, are they burned out or slow to come on? It takes them a while.
And there's strike 2, 3-2. Yeah, these are not the newer lights that come on automatically. They had to warm up a little, I think. These lights were moved from the old Kirkland field where they lit foul ball off to the right side. Remember when the effort to light Kirkland Field came about many years ago, and when they built this facility, they moved those lights over here. That might be new poles, but I think they're the same lights. 3-2 pitch. They say he did not go, ball 4. And Bradley will walk. That'll bring up Spencer Faulkner. Faulkner on the day, 1 for 2. 2 men are out, a man now aboard. Jake Bradley at first as Faulkner, who represents the top of the order, stepping in. Hitting .321, and pitch to him misses, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Now the 1-0. Foul ball off of third. One ball, one strike. Bottom half of the fourth inning, a 3-1 ball game. Braves lead the Cougars, swinging another foul ball off of third base. Count will go to 1-2. Columbus State Cougars, the UNC Pembroke Braves in an elimination game here in this NCAA Southeast Regional number 2. Windhorst leans in to get the sign from his battery mate, and here's the 1-2 pitch. Right back through the box. Knocked down at second. They get the force there. Pretty nifty little play defensively by the Cougars there, and that'll retire the side. Through 4 innings of play, the score, Pembroke 3, Columbus State 1. Score 3-1. Pembroke leading Columbus State. Leading it off for the Cougars will be Isaac Boughton. Boughton 0 for 2 in the ball game. Actually, 0 for 2, struck out one of his 2 at-bats here this afternoon. Boughton, Hernandez on deck as Luke Barrow sets to throw to Boughton as we start this 5th inning. Here's the pitch on the way. In there, strike. After 4, 3 runs, 7 hits for the Braves. 1 run, 2 hits for the Cougars. One strike pitch to Boughton. Fouled right back at us. But for the screen, Mikey would have had to catch that one.
Not as athletic as Not as good as I once was.
0-2. Isn't that the truth for all of us? 0-2 the count. Now the 0-2 pitch up high, ball 1, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Columbus State losing to Belmont Abbey earlier today, 15-13. Really good comeback effort by Columbus State. They were down at 1.9-0 in that ball game. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Barrow, off the mark. Count will leave it at 2-2 now to Isaac Boughton. Barrow sets, Boughton awaits, 2-2 pitch. Swing and a drive foul, left field side. Count evens, still at 2-2. Barrow's 2-2 pitch again on the way, and that gets away from him over the head of the batter, Boughton, all the way back to the screen, and the count runs full, 3-2. Three balls, two strikes. Isaac Boughton leading it off for Columbus State in the top half of the fifth inning. They're down by 2 to the Braves. The 3-2. Ball 4. And Boughton gets a leadoff pass, and the Cougars have a man aboard here in the fifth. Isaiah Hernandez steps to the plate, looking for his first hit of the afternoon. Hernandez, the left-handed hitting third baseman for the Cougars. Burrow checks the runner at first. Now the pitch, swing and a miss, strike one. Barrow on in relief of the starter Spencer Ledford for Pembroke. Throw to first, and that ball gets away. Runner not going to go towards second. It didn't get quite far enough away for him to advance. So the runner holds at first. That, of course, is Boughton. Incidentally, Boughton represented the top of the Columbus State order. Isaiah Hernandez batting in the 2 spot, the left-handed hitting third baseman. Came into the ballgame hitting .301 on the season. One strike to count to Hernandez. Another throw, though, to first. Once again, not in time. Newberry and Belmont Abbey on the winner's side of the bracket to play in the next game, which would be the third game of the day. That was scheduled to start at about 7 or 7:30, but it's going to be more like 8, maybe even 8:30 before that happens. One strike pitch comes in and hits Hernandez, or at least I thought it did.
I did too. I thought it got him.
It must.
He didn't react like it hit him at all.
No, he didn't. I thought it hit him on the foot. See what the replay looks like here. Still couldn't tell. Too far away from the monitor.
Usually a guy reacts.
Got him down, bounced over his foot,
Okay.
hit in front of the foot and kind of bounced over. I'll tell you what, maybe he should have tried. He might have gotten away with it. 1-1 the count to him, though, as Hernandez will step back in. Runner at second base for the Cougars with nobody out. They trail by 2, 3-1 to Pembroke. Luke Barrow looking back to second. Now the pitch to Hernandez, and that is driven towards center field, and it is going to be caught for the out. Runner moves toward third. They cut off the throw, and he's in safely at third base. One away. So Hernandez moves the runner along. One down in the inning. And Columbus State now with a man at third base with one away. And here comes what represents the tying run at the plate here in the person of Stephen Minter. Minter 0 for 2 in the afternoon.
Come on, base hit, ground up the middle. Let's go. Good job.
My phone all of a sudden decided it wanted to send a text to someone and just wrote down everything I said. Ball gets away. Here comes the run, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
Someone's transcribing.
Yeah. Be careful what you say.
You really don't know where it came from?
No, it actually picked my voice up and was texting
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Larry Ellis, our studio engineer that'll be with us in the second game. So it's a 3-2 ball game now. Bases are clear. Two balls and a strike to Minter. Here's the pitch. Up high, ball 3-1. Yeah, that's crazy. Like a version of War and Peace.
You sure it hasn't got the last hour?
I don't think so. Phones do crazy things. I guess I'll just ignore it for a while. 3-0 the count now to Mentor. Pitch. Strike. Mikey took care of it. Now erased. Here's the 3-1 pitch on the way from Luke Barrow to Stephen Minter, and that is driven right field for a base hit. Hit number 3 for the Cougars. Now the tying run is aboard for Columbus State with only one away. And Derek Wiley, the right fielder, hitting .328 on the season, will step to the plate for Columbus State. And if you were with Gary during that first game today, the one in which Belmont Abbey defeated Columbus State 15-13. At one point, Columbus State was down 9-0. They scored 4 runs in the 9th inning to make it a 2-run ball game. Pitch misses low and away, gets away from the catcher. He can't find the ball, and the runner goes down to second base. He looked behind him. The ball had gone just to the third base side of the plate there. 1 ball, no strikes to Derek Wiley.
Well, Columbus State has what they want, tying runner in scoring position, just 1 out.
Yep, Stephen Minter down at second base now after that ball got away from the catcher, Jake Bradley. 3-2 ball game here. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Braves, 2 runs now, 3 hits for the Cougars. Runner goes to third. The ball goes high, hits the base of the backstop, and comes right back to the catcher. But runner moves to third for the Cougars, and now they have the tying run 90 feet from home plate.
All it's going to take now is a fly ball, assuming it's hit deep enough.
And that's going to bring out a visit from the dugout, as they're going to make a change right here. They're going to pull Luke Barrow after 36 pitches. So we do have a pitching change coming up. Stand by. We'll tell you more about that here in just a second. New pitcher is Chase Jernigan. He's a left-hander. The numbers on Mr. Jernigan: 39 2/3 innings pitched, 35 hits, 41 strikeouts, an earned run average of 2.95. He is a lefty, and he will take his warm-up tosses here. Situation is this: one man is out, a run is in, and a man is at third base for the Cougars. So they have cut the Pembroke lead to 1, 3-2, with the tying run at third base.
And I believe, doesn't he inherit a 2-0 count?
He does. The batter is Derek Wiley, and the count on him is 2-0. Coaches from Pembroke, once that ball sailed back to the screen there and allowed the runner to move to third, they didn't hesitate to make the change here. So Jernigan continues his warm-up tosses, and he will go back to work on Derek Wiley. Wiley with 2 at-bats. No hits yet. He struck out one of those 2 times. Pembroke lost to Newberry 12-3 last night, and almost this morning, as we didn't start till after 9, finished right.
Well, technically you finished in the morning.
That's right after midnight. Newberry winning that one 12-3, and then what would have been the second game had we gotten started on time.
Last night told me to, as they say, watch what you say, because last week in Tennessee I thought, oh man, this is a 4-hour and a 4.5 hour? That's unbelievable. Well, last night
5.5.
5.5.
Yeah. So in the first game earlier today, Belmont Abbey defeated Columbus State 15-13. So Pembroke and Columbus State playing in an elimination game here this afternoon, almost turning into this evening. And then Belmont Abbey and Newberry will play on the winner's side of the bracket, both of those teams going in at 1-0. And we estimate that won't start before 8, if not a little bit, maybe 8:30. And they're just going to put Wiley on there. So they put Wiley aboard. That'll put runners at first and second. Does set up a double play here with 1 away and a man at third base. So here's Wynn Johns. Johns 1 for 2 with an RBI. Also struck out in the ball game. Right-handed hitting left fielder. Pitch on the way to Johns, in there for a strike. 3-2 ball game. Jernigan delivers. Slider misses. 1-1. One ball, one strike to Wynn Johns. Left-hander Chase Jernigan on in relief. Looks to first. Now the throw. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. And the count on Johns goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Jernigan's got, I don't know what they're wearing, like notepads on his belt.
I noticed that last night with the Pembroke pitcher. Ball comes inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I'm not sure how much information you can get on a 3x5 card. He's checking it out so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I noticed that was the case last night in the game that we had with Pembroke and Newberry. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Runner goes towards second. Ball fouled away.
Not a bad idea. Wiley breaks from first. And if Johns were to drive one in the gap, then Wiley would score and give them the lead.
Yeah, that's a potential there, and he was taken off on the pitch. By the way, the Braves scored all 3 of their runs in the first. Cougars have scored 1 in the 4th and 1 so far in the 5th. There's a ball going to drop in, base hit. That's going to tie this ball game at 3 apiece. So Wynn Johns with an RBI single, and it's a 3-3 ball game now. And the Cougars have runners at first and second with only 1 away. And here comes Trace Tradowski.
And the go-ahead runner, Wiley, now at second. So if he were to score, it's just human nature for Pembroke to scratch your heads and go, what if? What if we not intentionally walked him?
Yeah. And as you had just mentioned, had he been able to, on the pitch before, if it had had a base hit there, he had taken off, he might have scored two. 2-2 pitch in there, strike. Or one strike there. That's first pitch to Trudowski. 0-1 the count. Trudowski, 2 walks in the ball game so far today. Jernigan looks back to second, chasing the runner back. 3-3 ball game as Columbus State has plated 2 runs so far here in this top half of the 5th inning. Pitch in there, strike. 0-2 the count. On deck is Matthew McDade. Runners at first and second for Columbus State. The left-hander readies the 0-2 pitch. Misses inside, ball 1, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2. Missed again, almost the same pitch, 2-2. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Braves, 3 runs, 4 hits for the Cougars. And they have the go-ahead run at second, another runner at first, 1 away, 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count to Trace Trudowski. And that one fouled back over the screen behind us. Count holds at 2-2. Two on the corner, strike 3. Trudowski did not like the call, but that is out number 2, and here comes Matthew McDade. McDade, 1 hit and 1 at bat, plus a walk here this afternoon. Matthew McDade steps in to face reliever Chase Jernigan. Again, runners at first and second. Here's the pitch in there for a strike. Two runs across in this inning, paired with that one back in the 4th, and Cougars have tied the game at 3 apiece. McDade awaits. Jernigan delivers the 1-strike pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. Time call by the umpire. Warning to the first base dugout. That is the dugout housing the Cougars. I'm not sure what that was all about.
I even heard that on the crowd mic. He said, knock it off.
Yeah, well, not sure what knock it off he was talking about, but I did hear him say warning, knock it off. So, and he wrote that down in his book. All right, back in goes McDade. 0-2 the count. First and second, the 0-2 pitch. In there, strike 3. And that's going to do it for the Cougars, but they play 2 runs, and they leave 2 men aboard. We go to the bottom of the 5th with the score tied at 3. Bottom half the fifth inning coming up from the Smith Road Complex here in Newberry, South Carolina, the NCAA Southeast Regional number 2. We are all tied between Columbus State and UNC Pembroke at 3-3. And leading it off for Pembroke is Christian Jane. Big, tall, left-handed hitting center fielder. Pitch on the way from Windhorst, in there for a strike, and the count goes to 0-1. Bottom of the fifth, 3 runs, 4 hits for Columbus State, 3 runs on 7 hits as we start this bottom of the fifth for the Braves. Swing and a miss, and the count goes to 0-2. Oh, and 2 the count. There's a drive towards center field, and the center fielder is pretty much right there as he moves just a few steps to his left or toward right field and makes the catch for out number 1. That'll bring up Ethan Ott. 1 out in the Braves' 5th inning here. Ott stands in. He is 0 for 2 on the day, but he does have a run batted in to his credit. There's a strike. Well, we still hadn't gotten that breakthrough in the clouds that we had hoped for, but 0-1 pitch driven again towards center field. Center fielder coming on. That drops in for a base hit for Ethan Ott. So a 1-out single by Ott, his first hit of the day. It puts a Brave at first base, and will bring up Joy Riesig.
I see Newberry's team over there on the first base dugout watching this game, and from their body language, they look pretty relaxed.
Yeah, they do. They've been over in the batting cage for a while, now sitting kind of behind and up on their own dugout there, as you mentioned. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit high in the air toward right field. Right fielder going back near the track, makes the catch for out number 2. So a long, noisy out there for Joy Riesig. Tagged that pretty good, but caught out in right field by Derek Wiley for out number 2. It's going to bring Will Hood to the plate. Will is 2 for 2 in this ball game with an RBI. He is the first baseman for Pembroke, hitting .351 now on the season. Noah Windhorst, pitch count up to 83. First pitch misses to Hood for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 men out, a man at first for the Braves. Now the 1-0 toss. Swing and a foul back. Count evens, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. One pitch, swing on miss. Strike 2. Two men out. Hood awaits. Pitch misses. 2-2 now the count.
Excuse me.
2-2 pitch coming up from Windhorst to Hood. Popped him up. That's going to get out of play over behind us to the right side.
Come on, Noah. Okay.
3-3 ball game. Braves batting in the bottom half of the fifth inning. 2 men out, a man at first. Hood awaits the 2-2 toss. Off the mark. Ball 3. 3-2. I think some of the Braves fans wanted, or rather some of the Cougar fans wanted a call strike on that one.
Hey, I missed something in the third inning. Can I see your phone?
I think Mikey erased it for me. Runner goes, swung on and missed. Ball fouled away, actually. I'm looking at the radar. It is very cloudy here, but I don't see anything.
No.
Not a thing in sight.
I've seen enough lately.
A little bit of stuff up above Charlotte, but heading out to the west, it looks like. 3-2 pitch swung on, missed, and that'll do it for the Braves here in this bottom half of the fifth. No runs. They leave a man. We've played 5. It's tied at 3, and Gary will be back for the 6th when we return.
All right, here we go. Top of the 6th inning. Gary Griffith back with you alongside Jimmy Coggins. 3-3 ball game. I think we're all in the back of our minds speculating when Newberry's game might start. I think I'm creeping closer to 8:30.
Yep.
And they will play Belmont Abbey. Right now, we got to take care of this game. Columbus State and UNC Pembroke tied at 3 here in the bottom half of, probably top of the 6th. It'll be the 8, the 9, and the 1 hitters for the Cougars. Columbus State with Ian King to lead it off. He has singled and walked. He's been on base twice. Chase Jernigan, the lefty, ready. His pitch is across. Jernigan's kind of got what I call a whip motion, Jimmy. Kind of, his arm kind of looks like it's in several parts, and he whips it.
Yep. Left-hander, too, so almost like a sidearm a little bit.
A little bit, yep. Hard to pick up his pitch if you're a hitter, I would think, his release point.
Newberry beat Pembroke last night 12-3, and then today Columbus State was defeated by Belmont Abbey 15-13. So Pembroke and Columbus State playing an elimination game here, and Newberry and Belmont Abbey on the winner's bracket side coming up later.
Line caught by third baseman Trent Harris. That's why you have to be quick at third base.
And he didn't have to move that glove much. It went right to him. It was either that or get hit.
I was going to say he moved it enough for self-preservation.
Yeah.
Here's the number 9 hitter, Connor Curley, who has walked and got caught looking in the 4th inning. So he's 0 for 1. The Braves, 3 runs, 8 hits. The Cougars, 3 runs, 4 hits. Neither team with an error. Third baseman, speaking of Trent Harris, the third baseman, he's in close. As Jernigan, lefty, working to a lefty, and the pitch is a bunt indeed up the first base side, fielded by Jernigan. Coming off on the first base side, he throws out Curley, so that didn't work out too well for Curley.
By the way, we talked about the Wolves taking their time in the batting cage a little bit earlier. They're now relaxed over on the roof of the dugout to the first base side, but Looks like Belmont Abbey is set up shop down in the batting cage on the left field side.
I'm going to be hearing that ping in my head for about 2 days. And the crowd mic picking it up also. You can obviously hear it. All right, 2 outs, top of the batting order. Isaac Boughton, who I think was calling Burton, so sorry about that. Isaac, fastball down and in, ball 1. Boughton has struck out swinging, popped to third, and walked. He also scored one of the 3 runs that the Cougars have. Got to give the Cougars credit. They've come back from a 3-0 deficit to tie this game at 3, and then in the first game they were down 9-0 and came back and scored 13 runs, but still lost.
One thing we haven't heard today, thank goodness, is the pattering of rain on umbrellas.
Amen. Enough of that. Rain is a 4-letter word in baseball.
It is.
Pitch is low. The count 2-1. 2 outs, nobody on. Top half inning at number 6. And now we're getting to that point of the game where someone's going to make a mistake.
And the way this game is going, that might be the difference.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You're now getting late in the game. It could be a 1-run game. So everybody might get a little more tense. This is what they call a regional. Then you've got the super regionals. You've got to win you've got to win the regional to go to a super regional, obviously, and then win that to go to the D2 World Series, which is in Cary, North Carolina. 3-2 the count on the 2-out batter, Isaac Boughton.
Columbus State 36-17 coming into this game. Pembroke coming in at 38-16 as well.
Popped up left side of the infield. Everybody converging. Someone's got to give way and let somebody make the catch. And it's a basket catch by third baseman Trent Harrison. Every time he does that, speaking of tighten up, I might tighten up for his coach. He kind of nonchalants it. But he made it. And 3 up and 3 down in the top of the 6th. On to the bottom of the 6th, and he's still tied at 3. Ball game, Pembroke 3 runs, 8 hits. Columbus State 3 runs, 4 hits. And for the Pembroke Braves, it will be Cody O'Connor, their right fielder, to lead it off. O'Connor has struck out and popped out. And then he'll be followed by Carlos Amezquita. And Trent Harris is due to hit third. Cody O'Connor stands in, left-handed batter, and here we go at the bottom of the 6th inning. The pitch is a breaking ball high, and the count 1-0. The starting pitcher, Noah Windhorst, still out there. He has walked, went, and struck out 5. Starting pitcher for Columbus State, I might add. The pitch by Windhorst, and a curveball hits the outside corner to even the count at 1-1. Looking a little cloudy, but I think we're clear.
Yeah, the clouds are here, but the radar doesn't show a thing. So
swing and a miss, and the count 1-2 on.
With all the
Cody
rain we had yesterday, it's probably a good thing we don't have too much sunshine. The humidity would be way up there.
1-2 pitch, popped up. Now the ball carries a little bit in the left, so going toward the line is Wynn Johns. Plenty of room. He makes a catch, and there's out number 1. How much BP can these teams take? You know, I mean, they got to play in a little bit. They're going to wear themselves out.
Yeah, that's like, I'm just not going to hit too many practice balls at the golf course. I don't want to waste any shots.
There's out number 1, and here is the shortstop for the Pembroke Braves,
Yep.
Carlos Amasquita. And the pitch to Carlos is a breaking ball in there, strike 1. Carlos struck out swinging in the first and then singled in the fourth and then was caught stealing. He's 1 for 2. The pitch by Noah Windhorse, down and in. 3-3 ball game. And quite frankly, I want one of these teams to win too, because I don't want to sit here till 2 a.m. again. I like baseball, but
This is one of those games, too, where the way things have gone so far, you hate to see either one of them lose.
yeah, right. Well, yeah, I always have a soft spot in my heart for guys or teams getting a certain, advanced level and then lose. Base hit left field.
All 3 of the Braves' runs came in the first. Cougars put 1 on in the fourth, 2 on in the fifth. And here we are in the bottom of the 6th, and as you said, Gary, 3-3. 4 hits for the Cougars and now 9 hits for the Braves.
And I often try to imagine, and believe me, it's only trying to imagine, these athletes to get to these real high levels. I mean, imagine the pinnacle like a Super Bowl, and then you lose.
Yep.
I mean, that's got to hurt. The pitch on the way, and he couldn't check his swing. Trent Harris couldn't check his swing, and the count 0-1 on Trent.
You know, when I drive by our studios that we work from across the street from the Smith Road Complex here in Newberry, I drive by early mornings, different times of the year when these teams are allowed to start practicing. Maybe it's in the fall or before they get ready to start the regular season. And these guys are up early, working out, not necessarily baseball, but, just doing things to get ready. And they work very, very hard at getting ready for this. And that's true of all these teams.
I think I read something like 1 to 3% of someone who signs a baseball pro contract coming out of high school or college. It's a very low percentage. Everybody knows that. Might make it. Doesn't even mean they'll stick at a major league level. So, I've seen these guys work so hard. Bouncing ball, and it gets off the shin of the third baseman, Hernandez. That's probably going to be a hit. Let's see. Nope, they give an error.
I got to go with the error, too. I think that's one you probably have had.
But, like when I worked in minor league baseball, man, those guys are out there every day. You just don't see it. And virtually it's year-round now. That's why I asked, Braylon Marine a couple of weeks ago, hey, man, that's a grind. He said, yeah, I know. And it really is.
Love of the game.
You got to love it. I tell you who I think's got to love it are baseball scouts to do what they do. And they're out there, they're watching junior high, high school, college, pro. The pitch, both runners break, and it's fouled down the first base side. I enjoy it, Jimmy, but I don't think I could be a scout and just watch it every day.
I remember covering American Legion ball many years ago back in the day, both as a broadcaster and as a remote person, even as a teenager, and there were always scouts watching those American Legion teams in the summertime.
Oh, yeah. They're out. That's why they call beating the bushes. 1-1 pitch will wait.
And as we've said before, at this particular level, Division II, and even back in the NAIA days, a lot of talent in the Southeast for sure.
Windhorse checking the runners, now the pitch. And it's a fastball high. Now, Windhorse may be tiring out. He's worked his way into the 6th. And the Cougars have a right-hander in their bullpen. A 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball, and that evens the count at 2-2. Runners at first and second for the Braves. Game tied at 3, so it is late in the game. If there's a base hit, Amasquita, I'll guarantee he'll be waved around third unless it's really close.
Windhorst now over 100 pitches on the afternoon.
And the 2-2 pitch by, Noah Windhorst. Ground ball, base hit left field. Ammons-Quita, as I said, being waved around at third. Here comes a throw to the plate. It's cut off, and Ammons-Quita scores standing up. And the Braves take the lead 4-3.
And still only one away, so now they've got another running scoring position down at second, a man at first as well.
Top of the batting order in Spencer Faulkner. So that error a moment ago has paid an immediate dividend. Runners at first and second. Faulkner takes a pitch low for ball one.
He has one hit and 3 at-bats so far this afternoon. Well, actually this evening now.
Pitch on the way. Ground ball, base hit into right field, rounding third. Here comes Trent Harris. He's going to score. The throw to third, that's late. Sliding into third is Jake Bradley. Another run in for UNC Pembroke. They now lead Columbus 5-3 here in the 6th inning. RBI single for Faulkner. And heads up running by Jake Bradley to race over to third base.
Yep. So 2 runs in here in the bottom of the 6th, making it 5-3. Pembroke has retaken the lead. They led 3-0 for a while, but Cougars had fought back to the 3-3 tie.
Fastball outside, the count 1-0 on Christian Jane, who is 1 for 3 with a single, a pop out, and a fly out to center field. Still just 1 out. Runners on the corners for the Pembroke Braves. Fastball down low. I'd have to think Windhorse is about at the end. To 2-0 the count. Windhorse from the stretch, right-hander's 2-0 pitch. Pulled into right field. That ball begins to carry. It might have the distance. It is a 3-run home run to right field by Christian Jane. And it's now 8-3. Pembroke scoring on the home run is Spencer Faulkner along with Jake Bradley. Rounding third now coming in to score. A 3-run home run by Christian Jane. When it left the bat, Jimmy, I didn't know if it had the distance.
Yeah, a little iffy there for a minute, but once I saw the right fielder look up, he kind of indicated by his body language that one was gone, and it went just over the right field fence to the left of the big scoreboard, the Founders Federal Credit Union scoreboard out in right field.
And for Christian Jane, home run number 6. Head coach Applegate out of the first base dugout. He'll go to his bullpen. That's all for Noah Windhorse. Got a pitching change here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Your score, it's Pembroke leading Columbus State 8-3. right, Columbus State brings in, well, it depends. His name is Ben Stewart. He is a right-handed pitcher, but listed as a lefty on their roster. Certainly looks like number 23, Ben Stewart to me. How about you?
Yep.
Right?
That's what the jersey says.
That's what the jersey says. He's listed as a lefty. Maybe he's is it ambidextrous? You can throw with both hands?
I don't know.
Well, Stewart is out there. He's going to pitch right-handed. Stewart, 6 foot even, 185. And he'll pitch to Ethan Ott as the Braves have just scored 5 runs here in the bottom of the 6th inning to take an 8-3 lead. Starting pitcher Windhorse, 5 1/3 innings. And he gave up 12 hits, including a home run a moment ago, 3-run home run to Christian Jane. Fastball fouled away by Ethan Ott. So Windhorse 5 1/3, 12 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Of the 8 runs, have to check on how many are earned. Fly ball to right field. Coming in is Derek Wiley to make the catch. And that is out number 1. Check it out, number 2, and it brings up Joey Rezick. Rezick reached on a fielder's choice in the first, grounded to third in the third, singled in the 5th. So Rezick stands in, left-handed batter, and he'll face, we think, Ben Stewart. Stewart has on jersey number 23, and 23 says Ben Stewart, but on the roster he's listed as a left-handed pitcher. But
yeah, and in the on the official lineup stat board here it says left-handed pitcher,
right,
number 23. So he's definitely throwing with a righty.
No doubt. He's pitching right-handed. The pitch on the way, fouled off. And the count on Rezick, 1 ball, 1 strike. 8-3 lead now by UNC Pembroke. They're trying to win, face another day, and if the Columbus State Cougars do not recover, they are out. 1-2 pitch, fouled back. The count remains 1-2 on Joey Rezick. The big shot a moment ago, a 3-run home by Christian Jane.
We can only go by what we have.
About Stewart?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. If that's a guy in the 23 jersey, he's pitching right-handed. Fastball low, the count 2-2. 2 outs. 5 runs have come across here in the bottom of the 6th for the Pembroke Braves. And the pitch. Line softly to the second baseman, Matthew McDade. That ends the bottom of the 6th. But for the Braves, they had a productive inning. 5 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, and no one left. On to the top of the 7th, 8-3, Pembroke leading. Moving on to the bottom of the seventh, top of the seventh inning. Pembroke now leading Columbus State 8-3. So Columbus State, now they've got their work cut out for them again. In the first game against Belmont Abbey, they trailed 9-0, came back, but still lost 15-13. They came back from a 3-0 deficit here against Pembroke to tie it at 3, and now they're down on the mat again, trailing 8-5.
8 runs, 12 hits for the Braves, 3 runs, 4 hits for the Cougars.
Isaiah Hernandez leads off the top of the seventh for the Cougars. The pitch by Chase Jernigan is a fastball, low, the count 1-0. Hernandez has grounded to short. He's been hit by a pitch, and he has flied out to center field. Jernigan came on in relief of the fifth. He's the third pitcher of the afternoon, used by UNC Pembroke. His pitch is low. And the count 2-0 here on Isaiah Hernandez. Stephen Minter on deck, and then the cleanup hitter Derek Wiley will hit third. And Columbus needs base runners. And the pitch. That's outside, ball 3. So Jernigan on the verge of walking Isaiah Hernandez. And a 3-0 pitch by Jernigan to Isaiah right down the middle. In the first game, earlier today, Hernandez hit a solo home run against the Belmont Abbey Crusaders, who we're going to see in the third game against Newberry in a little bit. The pitch hit hard, but fouled down the third base side. Now the count 3-2. So Jernigan has recovered from a 3-0 count to work the count 3-2 on Isaiah Hernandez, and has a chance to strike Isaiah out. Stretch by Chase Jernigan, 3-2 pitch on the way, outside, ball 4. He walks Hernandez, and that's how the top of the seventh unfolds. Now, I'll tell you, I didn't check all the scores around the country, but in the other region close to us, I know that Georgia Southwestern, they're out. If Columbus State does not recover here, they'll be out.
Right. And you know, the North Greenville Ball Club had to hit a 3-run walk-off home run to win last night.
Now, was that with 2 outs? Was that?
I'm not sure about that part. Wasn't following quite that closely. I just looked over at the monitor, and boom, there it went.
Yeah.
So
here's the 0-1 pitch by Chase Jernigan to Minter, the DH for the Cougars, down low. Minter has flied to right, grounded into a 5-2-3 double play, singled and scored.
North Greenville scheduled to take on UMO at 7:30 tonight. Mount Olive.
Bouncing ball. First baseman Will Hood makes the unassisted play. Hood had to go a little bit to his right, and he beats Minter to the bag on that ground out. Isaiah Hernandez races down to second. So the Crusaders, the Cougars have a runner at second. With 1 out, they trail by 5 runs, so they need all the runners they can get. Here's Derek Wiley, who took a call, 3rd strike in the 2nd, fly to center in the 4th, and was given the intentional walk in the 5th, so he's 0-for-2. The pitch to Derek. Fastball, and he fouls it up on the first base side.
Yesterday in that North Greenville game, they beat Georgia Southwestern 6-5 in that walk-off home run. And then, as I said, they play Mount Olive tonight at 7:30.
That should be a pretty competitive game. Mount Olive is very good.
Should be.
North Greenville is definitely good. Now the 0-1. Up and in to even the count at 1-1. Top of the 7th. And a 1-1 count here on Derek Wiley. Derek Wading, big right-handed batter. He's hit 19 home runs. Breaking ball low, the count 2 balls, 1 strike. 8 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the UNC Pembroke Braves. 3 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error for the Columbus State Cougars. And a third game coming up later on between Newberry and Belmont Abbey. You can hear that and watch it on WKDK 1240 AM and on Newberry Sports. Popped up, foul territory. First baseman Will Hood makes the catch, and that's out number 2, and brings up Win Johns, the left fielder for the Cougars. W-I-N, that's how he spells his first name. Win has struck out swinging. He hit a solo home run in the 4th and then an RBI single in the 5th inning. Stretching the pitch. Fastball right across, strike 1. Now the 0-1 pitch on the way by Jernigan. Fastball middle in, but it missed. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here. Top of the 7th inning. 8-3 lead by Pembroke. And Chase Jernigan working slowly. Left-hander sets. 1-1 pitch. Bounce foul. Now there are 2 strikes on Win Johns. And we'll just keep saying it. The loser of this game is out. The winner stays alive. And then coming up after this, Newberry's going to play Belmont Abbey.
Come on, win base hit, kid.
And the easiest road for any team, but for Newberry, is just to keep winning. There's a 1-2 pitch. Bouncer up the middle. Second baseman Faulkner takes a step to his right, then throws back across his body in time, and that retires the side. Time for the 7th inning stretch here in Newberry, South Carolina. 8-3 lead by UNC Pembroke. On to the bottom of the 7th inning in Newberry, South Carolina, in this Southeast Regional Tournament game. It's an 8-3 lead by Pembroke. And starting his first full inning in relief is Ben Stewart, we think. Stewart listed on the roster as a lefty, but there's no doubt if this is Stewart, he is pitching right-handed. So Stewart here will pitch 2. Excuse me, should be Will Hood to lead it off. First baseman for the Pembroke Braves, a pitch to Will. Ground ball, base hit the other way. Nice piece of hitting there, Jimmy.
Yeah, 3rd hit of the day for him in 4 at-bats now. Also has an RBI. So he's had a pretty good day at the plate. Has Will Hood, who, by the way, is their first baseman.
Right-handed batter took that pitch down and away and drove it to right field. Now the batter, Cody O'Connor, who struck out swinging in the first, popped out to third in the third, flying out to left in the sixth, so he's 0 for 3. Pembroke trying to win. They'll play another day, and if they do win, then Columbus is finished. The pitch is a fastball across strike one.
Newberry Wolves still chilling out on the roof of the dugout over by first base, getting ready for that second, their second game, third game of the day.
Now the 0-1 pitch on the way, and that's low to even the count at 1-1. Although I get a little jumpy seeing them sit them on top of the dugout. I hate for a foul ball to fly over there. They're going to play Belmont Abbey. Oh, I don't know. I think 8:30 drill. Fly ball begins to carry into right field, and it's gone. A two-run home run just snuck over the right field fence. Two-run home run by Cody O'Connor, and it's now a 10-3 lead by the Braves. And the hourglass getting turned over here on the Cougars. They're running out of time, Jimmy.
Yeah, they are, and that's the second home run of this ball game. First one was a 3-run shot, correct?
Yep.
And that was a 2-run shot, and it's 10-3, as you said.
So the Braves have scored 5 of their last, 7 runs. 5 of the last 7 have come because of the home run.
Right.
And now with 2 more runs in, they lead Columbus 10-3. Fastball low, hits the dirt and bounces up. And it's a count of 1-0 on Carlos Amasquita, who struck out swinging in the first, singled in the fourth, and singled in the 6th inning. One and 0 the count. Now the pitch. Fastball low, the count 2-0. And the pitch down low, the count goes to 3-0 on Carlos Amasquita. 2 runs in, nobody out. Pembroke now leading Columbus State 10-3. And the pitch right down the middle, but low. That's ball 4. So Amasquita's on with a walk, and it brings up Trent Harris. First walk given up by Ben Stewart. And here comes head coach for Columbus State. Popped out of the first base dugout. That's Greg Appleton walking slowly to the mound. And I think that's going to be off for Ben Stewart. I think. Coach Appleton has not signaled yet. Now he does, and that's it. So we got a break in the action. We'll be back in a minute. The Columbus Cougars go to their bullpen and bring in right-hander Leo Giannoni. He takes over for Ben Stewart.
19 and a third innings pitched for Giannoni. 19 hits, 25 strikeouts, earned run average 4.19.
Leo started his college career at Mercer, which is right there in Atlanta. Transferred over. Obviously, he's pitching now at Columbus State. Here he's going to pitch to Trent Harris, who has a single, a pop out, and he's reached on an error. Giannoni, a sidearm, almost a submarine-type pitcher.
Yep.
And it starts with a fastball, and the count 0-1 on Trent Harris. Harris waits. Amisquita breaks from first, a throw down to second, goes all the way into the outfield. Amisquita is going to stay at second, however. And a stolen base for Carlos.
Yeah, didn't quite get deep enough into center field to allow him to move to third base.
Nobody out. The Braves have picked up 2 more runs, and they now lead Columbus State 10-3, fastball low. And they count 2-1 on Trent Harris with Jake Bradley on deck. Bottom of the 7th inning. And the pitch. Inside, a 3-1 count. The Braves 10 runs and 13 hits, while the Cougars 3 runs and 4 hits.
In a fairly cleanly played ball game, just 1 error so far. That was committed by the Cougars earlier in the ball game.
Fastball high, ball 4, so Harris is on with a walk. And now Pembroke with runners at first and second, nobody out. It brings up their number 9 hitter, their catcher, Jake Bradley, who has struck out, walked, singled, and driven in a run. Jake stands in. The pitch to Jake Bradley. Ground ball, might be 2, maybe not. Shortstop Boughton only has the force play at second, so there's out number 1. Fielder's choice for Jake. And on the fielder's choice, Amisquita takes third. But there's the first out for the Columbus State Cougars.
Just the positioning of that throw, or that throw down to second, and the slide by the lead runner there, at least the one going to second, just wasn't able to get that throw over to first base for the attempt at the double play.
Top of the batting order, it's Spencer Faulkner takes a fastball across strike 1. Faulkner 2 for 4, a pair of singles. He has scored twice and driven in a run. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Big sweeping curveball. And the count 0-2 on Spencer. And the pitch. And that's high. The count 1-2. Excuse me. Third and final game of the day. Going to be between Newberry and Belmont Abbey. We think about, we're targeting 8:15, 8:30. Depends on how fast these next 2 innings go or how slowly they go.
Yeah, we just passed 7 o'clock on the button here, so bottom half of the 7th inning. They're going to need at least, I'd say, 30 minutes between games.
A ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch.
Actually, that's an hour, I'm told.
Between games, yeah.
Yep.
I think, yeah. So if it ended right now, you're looking at 8.
Right. 30 minutes would be during regular season, I guess, for a doubleheader. Give or take a minute or 2 here or there.
Stretching a 1-2 pitch. Popped up, playable, foul territory. The first baseman, Twodorski, over. The ball popped out of his glove.
And you know what he probably is thinking right there? He's in that dirt area just in front of the dugout and probably thinking I got to keep my footing here.
They give him an error, too.
Yep.
Kind of turning into a long day for the Cougars. And that's outside the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On the right-handed batter, Spencer Faulkner. 1 out, bottom of the 7th inning. 10-3 lead by the Pembroke Braves, and right now they have runners at first and third, so they could add more. Here comes a 2-2 pitch, and it hits Faulkner. Now Pembroke has the bases loaded. That'll push Jake Bradley to second. They're loaded for Christian Jane. Last time up, Jane hit a 3-run home run. That was in the 6th inning.
He has 2 hits and 4 at-bats, 3 runs batted in. And as you just mentioned, Gary, bases are loaded, so he's got a chance to add to the 3 RBIs he already has. He has 56 runs batted in on the year.
1 out, bases loaded for Christian Jane. As Jimmy said, he has 2 hits today, including a 3-run home run. The pitch, fastball, and he fouls it back, strike 1. This game on the verge of getting out of control already. If Pembroke scores a couple of more runs, it just doesn't look too good for the Cougars. The pitch to Christian. Outside the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Bottom half, inning number 7. 10-3 lead by Pembroke. And here comes a 1-1. Tapped right back to the mound. Off the glove of the pitcher. The ball trickles to the second baseman. He flips to second.
Wow.
For the force out there on Faulkner.
What a really great play that came off the glove of the pitcher. Second baseman just couldn't go to first, so he sort of backhanded or flipped it to the shortstop.
Kind of a no-look flip.
Wow, unbelievable. Yeah, like a no-look pass in basketball.
Amanquita scored on the fielder's choice, so it's an 11-3 lead now by the Braves. And then Jake Bradley moves over to third. So they're on the corners with 2 outs, a run in, another run in, I should say. And it's an 11-3 lead. Christian Jane breaks from first to second. They won't bother to throw down, and that's a stolen base for Christian.
Yeah, they conceded that all the way.
Pitch outside to count 2-0 here on Ethan Ott, the 7th. Actually, the 8th guy to come up here in the inning. It's now an 8-run deficit for the Columbus State Cougars, and they've got 2 more at-bats in the 8th and the 9th to pitch. And that's outside the count, 3-0. Columbus has a right-hander in their bullpen. If Leo Giannotti can't get the job done here, he's just trying to record an out, the pitch. And that's outside. Ball 4, so Ethan Ott is on.
That loads him up again.
Second walk given up by Leo. And here comes the 9th guy to bat in the inning. It's Joey Rezick. And the pitch to Joey, check swing, fouled off to the third base side. The count 0-1. Bottom of the 7th inning. Jimmy, is that a Columbus State player way out beyond the outfield wall?
I think that might be a Belmont Abbey player just loosening up out there running. I saw him running back and forth a few minutes ago.
Okay.
So he may just be loosening up.
And the pitch,
You know,
outside.
Back to not hitting practice balls on the practice tee before you play golf.
He's doing that.
I wouldn't wear myself out.
Oh, maybe somebody run away from the game.
No, I think that's a Belmont Abbey guy just loosening up before the game.
1-1 the count on the 2-out batter, Joey Rezick. The base is loaded. The pitch slapped out of play on the third base side. Now there are 2 strikes. Well, if Pembroke scores a couple more runs, it's going to look kind of dire for Columbus, if not already. So this is a pretty big out if Columbus wants to try to scratch back into it. The pitch. Oh, the home plate umpire.
He almost.
He wanted to.
He almost rang him up there.
Stretching a 2-2 pitch to Joey Rezick. And that one looked even better. About a letter high fastball, not called. Now there's a 3-2 count. So Rezick's going to have to go after this next pitch. If it's that close, here it is. The runner's move. It's outside. Ball for Rezick. Draws a bases loaded walk. That makes it 12-3.
That's a tough break for Leo Giannone because I'm not so sure the previous pitch to that last one wasn't a strike, and that one was close as well.
Christian Jane moves over to third. I agree with you. Ethan Ott in the second, and scoring Jake Bradley. Coach Appleton again out of the first base dugout. And he's running out of options, Jimmy.
Yes, he is. Running out of time, too. That is going to be it for Giannone.
Yeah. Break of the action. New pitcher coming in. We'll be back. Well, Columbus State brings in a real tall right-hander. His name is Peyton Burton. He's a sophomore right-hander. You have numbers on him?
I do. 40 2/3 innings pitched this season, 33 hits, 33 strikeouts, an earned run average of 3.54. Those are the numbers on right-hander Peyton Burton.
Bottom of the seventh inning, 12-3 lead by Pembroke. How tall is he listed?
I don't have his height.
I don't find it either.
He's big. He's at least 6'6", 6'7", I'd say.
Wait a minute. Here he is. 6'3". I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
He must have lifts in his shoes.
This kid is not 6'3". I'll go 6'6".
Yeah, I'd say 6'6" easy.
He's going to pitch to Will Hood. Will's had a very productive game, 3 singles. He has scored a run and he has driven in a run. Pembroke with the bases loaded already with a 9-run lead at 12-3 to pitch to Will. From Burton is down low, the count 1-0.
Winners bracket game. Sorry. Winners bracket game between Newberry, Belmont Abbey coming up close to an hour, I guess, after this one is over.
Ground ball. Shortstop Boughton fires to first in time. That does retire the side, but here in the bottom of the seventh, Pembroke scores 4 runs. The big shot, that 2-run home run by Cody O'Connor. Jimmy's got the 8th inning, and Pembroke has the lead, 12-3.
The NCAA thanks our corporate champions, AT&T, Capital One, and Coca-Cola, and our corporate sponsors, Aflac.
1 ball, 1 strike. "12-3 score. Columbus State bats in the 8th. There's a chopper toward third. It's into left field. Bounced over the glove of the third baseman. The shortstop trying to cover behind him. Couldn't get to it either. That'll go as a base hit. So Columbus State now with a little something going here. First and second with only 1 out. And here comes Connor Curley to the plate.
They haven't ruled if that's a base hit or not. Now they give him an error.
Yeah, they do. I'm not so sure. That ball just bounced over the glove. It took a hop. I don't know. Here's the pitch. Missed, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch, popped up, back of the plate, and that hits right in front of the press box. That might have ruined that old-timey microphone.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Then again, that thing is so durable, it probably could take the hit.
Absolutely. You don't make them like that anymore, and it still sounds great. It gives you all the crowd noise you need, including that baseball that just flopped down on top of it. 1-1 the count to Connor Curley. First and second, 1 out. Here's the pitch. There's a shot toward short, backhanded, second base. Got him. Ooh. The ball was wide of the mark. The second baseman reached back and touched the bag, and the umpire down at second says he got him. So 2 away. Runners on the corners now for Columbus State as they got a force out at second base for the second out of the inning. And now to the plate comes Isaac Boughton. Boughton on the day, 3 at-bats, no hits. He has walked once. First and third for Columbus State. 2 men now out, though. Left-hander Jake Inman on the mound, delivers. That ball fouled away to the right side for a strike. Newberry and Belmont Abbey coming up here in the 3rd game of the day. We're now looking at 7:22 here. So when this game is over, it's going to be about an hour before we get started. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. We're going to be
8:45.
More likely. .904 was our start time last night. The 1-1 toss into the air towards center field. Pretty well hit, but caught right at the Wolf logo in fairly dead center field for out number 3. So Boughton hits it well, but it's caught, and that'll do it in the 8th. Nothing across for Columbus State, but they leave 2. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning with the score: Pembroke 12, Columbus State 3, and we're back in just a moment. Bottom half of the 8th inning from Smith Road Complex in Newberry, South Carolina. NCAA Southeast Regional number 2. We're in game 2 of the day. This was actually supposed to be the first game of the day, but the second game of yesterday, which we didn't get to play because of all the rain, was played at noon today. And so this game following that one. There's a call strike to Kason McCauley. McCauley, 5 runs batted in on the season. This is his first trip to the plate today. There's a strike, and it's 0-2. Remember, McCauley was inserted into right field defensively in that last inning. Peyton Burton on the mound. The right-hander delivers the 0-2 pitch. Misses. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And there's 1 away in the Brave 8th inning. Carlos Amezquita, the shortstop. 2 for 3 today with a walk as well. Left-handed hitting shortstop standing in for the UNC Pembroke Braves. They lead 12-3. There's a strike to Carlos. 0-1 the count. The 0-1 toss coming up. Chopper into right field. That's a base hit. 3rd hit of the day for the Brave shortstop, and he's on at first with 1 away. Trent Harris steps to the plate for the Braves. Trent Harris, 1 for 3 on the day. The third baseman hitting .314. Today he has 1 hit and 3 at-bats. He too has also picked up a pass this afternoon or this evening, as it turns out to be. Here's the pitch to him. In there, strike, and the count is 0-1. One strike pitch on the corner, strike 2. Well, the Cougars will have 1 more shot at the Braves in the top of the 9th, but they trail 12-3. Harris awaits the 1-1 from Burton. And the big tall right-hander fires. Foul back to the screen. The count goes 1-2. 1 down in the Brave inning with the man at first base. That is the shortstop, Carlos Amezquita, who picked up another hit on this multiple hit day for him. 3 for 4 on the afternoon. 1-2 pitch swung on and missed, and that takes Harris to the turf, and he strikes out. 2 away now. And here is Jake Bradley. Bradley 1 hit, an RBI in 3 at-bats. He also has walked in the ballgame. 2 out, a man at first in the Pembroke 8th inning. Call strike. Nothing in 1 the count. The 0-1 toss. Breaking pitch misses upstairs. 1-1 the count. One. Lifted foul, right side out of play. Belmont Abbey 39-16 as they get set to play Newberry in the next game. The Wolves come in at 42-13. That's a new record for wins in a season by the Wolves in the win that they picked up over this Pembroke team last night. 1-2 toss, just missed the corner, 2-2 the count. Hadn't been too long ago the Wolves won 40 games too. The 41 games was what, I think back in 2019, Mikey, is that right?
I think that's right.
Yep. Foul back, count holds, 2-2.
Also the last time they hosted a regional.
Right. And
I tell you a fact that really jumped out at me. I didn't know. When they won the tournament last week, that was the first time since 1999.
yeah, I didn't realize that either. They've won the regular season conference championship before, but hadn't won that one, the tournament championship, since 1999. There's a base hit into right center field. That's going to put Braves on the corners at first and third. And we'll bring up Spencer Faulkner. So Faulkner about to stand in. Pitch. Bouncer toward the shortstop. Force out at second, and that will end the inning. Nothing across for the Braves, but they leave runners aboard. We go to the top of the ninth, and it's do or die for Columbus State, 12-3. The Braves with the lead, and Gary will take you through the ninth when we come back.
And for Columbus State, the Cougars, this may be it for them. If they lose, they are out. And they've got, let's see, 9 runs just to tie. They'd have to score 9 runs just to tie the game and 10 to take the lead here in the top of the ninth.
Now, they did trail 9-0 at one point in that first game earlier today that you did, Gary, and then ended up scoring 4 runs in the ninth to cut the Belmont Abbey lead to 2. They lost eventually 15-13 in that first game today.
And they came back in this game earlier. They were trailing 3-0.
Right. Left-hander Jake Inman, who came on in relief, has given up 1 hit. He has 1 strikeout so far in this effort this evening.
All right, Inman's going to pitch to the 2, the 3, and the 4 hitters. Isaiah Hernandez, Steve Minter, and Derek Wiley. If they keep it going, while Wynn Johns would hit 4th, and if the game ends right now, then that next game would be at 8:30, about 8:45 is what I'm going to guess. And the pitch is a fastball swung on a miss, strike 1 here in the top of the ninth inning. Isaiah Hernandez has grounded to short, flied out to center, walked, and been hit by a pitch, so he's been on base twice.
And so Mikey informed us earlier that there's usually about an hour between games in this tournament situation, so just past the bottom of the hour at 7:30 here. So you're right.
My original guess was 8:30. I'm going to be off.
Well, you're the over and under between the two of us, you win.
What'd you say?
I think I said 8:30 or 8:15 or 8:30. So
You're supposed to say 8:45.
well, I was going to be honest.
I had him at 8:44. 1-2 the count on Isaiah Hernandez. And me and Jimmy will have that game. You can see it on Newberry Sports, and of course listen to it on WKDK locally, 1240 AM, 101.7 FM, and online at WKDK.com. The pitch, download. I have WKDK on my phone. I must tell you, it is so user-friendly. You know, I hit that button. There it is. 2-2 the count on Isaiah Hernandez. Steve Minter is on deck. And now the pitch. Got him. Boy, that pitch was tailing down, Jimmy.
Yep. So one out here in the ninth for Columbus State. They're down to their last two outs here.
And the batter, Steve Minter, who has fly to right, grounded into a rather unusual 5-2-3 double play. Singled and grounded out. And now the pitch on the way. And that's down low. Derek Wiley on deck. He may be the last hope. Stretching a 1-0 pitch by the lefty, Inman. And that is low. Suddenly feel like the crowd kind of got quiet.
Yep.
I expect a good crowd for that last game.
I do too.
Both sides will be represented.
Some of the Newberry fans already showing up in their regular positions, if you will.
Fastball low, the count 3-0. And there's been a nice contingent here for Columbus State.
Yeah, I think fans for all of the teams that have come in here this weekend have followed very nicely.
Here's a 3-0 pitch to Steve Minter. And he takes low, ball four. Umpire held up. He calls it.
Pembroke, Columbus State, Belmont Abbey traveling in here to this Southeast Regional number 2 of the NCAA tournament. And of course the regular Newberry faithful showing up as they always do.
The batter is Derek Wiley, who hit 19 home runs during the season, Jimmy, but he's been pretty quiet today. And Wiley stands in, right-handed batter. The pitch to Derek. Fly ball to left, and it's caught, hit hard. And there's out number 2. So one more out, and Columbus State's season is over. Pembroke's will at least go one more game. And it's come down to Wynn Johns, who today has hit a home run, a solo home run. He also has an RBI single. Swing and a miss and a breaking pitch. And the count 0-1. Top of the ninth inning, 12-3 lead by UNC Pembroke. Stretch in the 0-1 pitch by Inman, and that's down low to make the count 1-1. Sometimes that last out just seems to be the hardest one to get, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Line score right now, 12 runs, 16 hits, 1 error, 10 men left on base for the Braves, 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors, 10 men also left on base for the Cougars.
1-1 pitch, off speed, swing and a miss. And now it could be down to this pitch. 1-2 the count on the 2-out batter, Steve Minter. And now a 1-2 pitch. Did he go around? They make the appeal. The umpire's got to decide. Did he go around?
They did.
He did, and that's it. All right, 12-3 the final. Pembroke wins in this game. They'll play another one. What do you want to do here, Jimmy? I think we should catch our breath.
I think so too. Again, the line score 12, 16, 1, and 10 for the Braves, 3, 5, 2, and 11 for the Cougars. Pembroke moves on and plays another day. For the Columbus Cougars, they are eliminated from the tournament. Newberry and Belmont Abbey coming up later tonight. We'll have it for you hopefully in about an hour.
All right, that's it. For Jimmy Coggins, Gary Griffith, thanks for listening.